boy, this is going to be a fun year for imaginary friends. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel where we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. My name is Miles Gutierrez. Thank you for joining me today. We're going to be talking about a brand new comedy on Amazon Prime called Ricky Stanicky. The film revolves around three childhood best friends, played by Zac Efron, Andrew Santino, and Jermaine Fowler, who pull a prank that goes horribly wrong. They invent this imaginary Ricky Stanicky in order to get them out of trouble. 20 years after creating this friend of theirs, they still use this Ricky in order for them to get out of trouble or places they don't want to be at. However, when their spouses and partners get suspicious and demand to finally meet the legendary Ricky Stanicky, the guilty trio decide to hire washed up actor and raunchy celebrity impersonator Rock Hard Rod, played by John Cena, to bring him to life. Now, 2023 was a fantastic year when it came down to raunchy comedies. We had No Hard Feelings, Joyride, Bottoms. I didn't love Dix the musical, but you know what? Take that aside, it was still a pretty darn good year for comedy. And so I went into this movie completely blind, didn't really know what the movie was about. Now, when you have this concept, there is a lot of logic that you have to just wash away. However, if you have a lot of logic problems in a comedy, but you can still make me laugh, I will be able to forgive a lot. And for the most part, I really like the interactions between Zac Efron, Andrew Santino, and Jermaine Fowler. I thought their interactions were great. I really love their camaraderie. I love it when they were trying to get into situations and out of situations. And then when they bring in John Cena, I think that added a little bit more. This is a tale of two different movies because for the first half of this movie, there were some genuine laughter that it had out of me. There were some really good gags in here, some really good jokes in that first hour. And then once we get into the last half of this movie, it feels like it's separated from what the first half of this movie is because then it goes into a completely different situation where it's getting out of control and it felt like a 20-minute gag that was stretched over for 2 hours. While I enjoyed the first half of this movie a lot more than I did with the second half, I still thought there were some pretty good gags in here. I just don't think they injected a lot in here because, to a degree, these three friends are kind of dicks. They're dicks to their wife, their girlfriend, their boyfriend. It's hard to root for these guys because they are dicks, especially when one of them doesn't want to be at his baby shower and instead goes off to a concert. And so, in order for them to go to this concert, they say Ricky Stanicky has cancer, and so that is their scapegoat. So they are, to a certain degree, dicks. But I still enjoyed seeing them on screen because if we all had that opportunity in order for us to make that imaginary friend, in order for us to get out of trouble in situations or go to places that we want to be at, however, we have other priorities going on, then you could use that as scapegoat. However, for me, this is just a cautionary tale of two different stories. I just wish this movie kind of focused on what the first half of this movie was because I thought that is where the humor was really landing for me. And I felt like that is where the movie was more engaging and a lot more charming to me personally. John Cena has some wonderful moments when he is performing as Rock Hard Rod. I would see a 2 hour movie of Rock Hard Rod just on stage singing these things, and it is a paint by numbers movie. So you know exactly how this movie is going to end just by watching the trailer, just by watching the synopsis. You know exactly how this movie is going to end. There is nothing new in here, but I thought it was fine. The first half, pretty charming, pretty funny, and had a lot of promise going for it. But once we leave the situation that they're in the first half to this wildly different direction, that is where it started losing me. And that is where, even though it had some funny moments here and there in that last half, it was just not as engaging as the first half. And it's just, it's, it's a fine movie if you just want to have some laughs and enjoy it for 2 hours. But I think this movie went on for about 20 minutes too long, maybe 15. I thought you could have cut out some things here and there in that last half of the film. But I still thought it was enjoyable. I thought it was funny. It was charming for that first half. And then the last half was just something else. So overall, I'm going to go ahead and give Ricky Stanicky a 5 out of 10. This is just a fine movie. If you just want some laughs for 2 hours, You can't go wrong with Ricky Stanicky. Those are my thoughts on Ricky Stanicky. Have you guys checked it out? Are you planning on checking it out? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys for the next review.